Hey everyone, it's Riley again, doing another haul video. I actually recorded a couple of them, but they were smaller packages, and I decided that I want to put them into one video, um, one bigger video instead of two smaller ones. Um, Once again, if you hear any noises in the background, it's probably my dog. He's in trouble right now for making a mess, so he's in his kennel at the moment, being punished. Um, Another side note for this video, um, originally I was gonna wait to do this longer video until I got one more book in the mail, something I ordered off of Amazon, um, but I accidentally had it shipped to my old house in another city, um, where my parents still live, so I'll be able to get it, but I won't be able to get it for a few more days, so I'm going to talk about that book briefly in this video, even though I can't show it because I haven't received it yet. But otherwise, I got some other stuff I'm going to talk about. So first, let me note that most of these books actually are books that I've already read in single issues or in other formats. But I've been going through my collection and kind of reselling everything so I can, or selling everything so I can rebuy them in the larger formats. So the first book I have here is I have the 4 out of the 5 deluxe editions of Y the Last Man. I have 4 out of the 5, 1, 2, 5, or 1, 2, 4, and 5. These are out of order a little bit because I actually found volume 3 at a secondhand bookstore for really great condition for a really good price. So I only ordered the 4 off of In-Stock Trades. I traded in or sold on eBay my 10 paperbacks. I got just about enough so that I could afford the 5 volume series in deluxe hardcovers, and I'm really happy about it. These are really nice volumes, really nice thick hardcovers. While DC doesn't do the best with their Omnibus, they do a lot of great deluxe edition hardcovers, and this series is definitely one that shows that they do a good job with these books. And if you haven't read Y the Last Man, it's a fantastic series by Brian K. Vaughan, who's currently doing Saga. I highly recommend it. It's commonly lauded as one of the best Vertigo titles out there, and I wouldn't disagree. They actually, at San Diego Comic-Con this past weekend, announced Absolute Edition for Y the Last Man. They haven't said yet if it's going to be like a series of Absolute Editions or if it's going to be one big, like, 60-issue Absolute. I very much doubt it'll be a big 60-issue Absolute Edition because that would be ridiculously large. I'm thinking maybe like it'll be like 3 volumes. If that's the case, then I probably just stick with the deluxe editions. I've never bought an Absolute before because they're a little bit pricey for me for what they hold. It's like, a dozen to 20 issues for like $100 cover price. Usually with these like thicker hardcovers, the reason I buy them because they actually, for what they collect, are good value, and you can get them for a really good price. So I feel like I'm actually making a really savvy money-saving purchase. With the Absolutes, it's more like I guess it's for display type of purposes. It's a really nice looking volume. So I don't have one yet because they're all really expensive. If they do release the entire series in one giant 60-issue Absolute Edition, which I'm sure would be like $300, then I might consider selling what I just bought to buy that one. Otherwise, probably stick with these deluxe editions I just acquired. On the same note, they're supposed to be releasing Absolute volume for Transmetropolitan. Same boat, not sure how many issues that's going to be, if it's going to be a series of Absolutes or if it's going to be one giant volume. Those, if it's a series, I might consider getting those because they don't have deluxe editions of Transmet out, at least not yet. And it's a series I really love, and I'd love to have it in a bigger hardcover collection rather than having the 10 paperbacks. Anyway, moving on, the next one that I got, which is another that I traded issues in to buy, is The Kill Machine, Green Arrow Volume 4, which is the first volume of Jeff Lemire and Andrea Sorrentino's run with the series. I didn't actually read the first 3 volumes of this series. I just jumped in right when Jeff Lemire started writing it because I heard that it was not really worth reading. But Lemire's run has been fantastic, and he just announced that he'd be wrapping it up, I believe, with issue 35. So that's about 3 paperbacks of material, and I'm hoping that they'll pull it all together into one deluxe edition hardcover, because that'd be really awesome to see the artwork from Sorrentino, because it's beautiful work collected in an oversized hardcover. So yeah, I followed this series for most of its run from Lemire in singles. I decided to go ahead and sell the singles and use that to buy the paperback, so it looked nice on my shelf, and it is a nice looking volume. Highly recommend that run, especially if you're enjoying the Arrow TV show. Next, another book that I sold issues for in order to afford is the Infinity oversized hardcover from Marvel. This is something that has gotten a really bad rap because Marvel used thinner paper to produce this, and the binding is not as good as it is in their Omnibus volumes. You can see that the ribbon does not disconnect from the outside cover, so you do get some gutter loss in there. It is a thinner volume, so the gutter loss is not as big of a problem. The pages are thinner than they usually are. They're thin enough that you can, on blank or white pages, you can see through to the artwork on the other side. It bleeds through, which is kind of an issue. It's pretty annoying, but there's not too much of that because not that many pages are actually white pages. But the story is really awesome. This collects the entire 6-issue Infinity miniseries plus the tie-in issues of Avengers and New Avengers, and then there's like a Silver Surfer Infinite series that tied in as well. And this collects all that in one giant volume. I got it, I sold my issues of Avengers and got enough to buy this, so I figured why not. I'm pretty sure that Hickman's Avengers and New Avengers, along with this event, are going to be collected in some Omnibuy eventually. But in the meantime, this is a nice book for me to keep on the shelf. It is a really attractive volume, despite the fact that the binding and pages are not as good as Marvel's usually are with their Omnibuy. But I think that it's worth picking up if you have the cash. It's a good looking volume. Next is Chew, the Omnivore Edition Volume 4, collecting issues 31 through 40 of John Layman and Rob Guillory's Image Comics series. Excuse me. This is a fantastic book. I've been reading this one since it started. Actually, I jumped on around issue 3 or 4, something like that. So I missed out on actually getting the first few issues, the ones that were worth a ton now. And I followed it in single issues through issue 30, sold all those off so I could afford to buy the Omnivore editions. I already owned the first one because an uncle of mine gave it to me for I think a Christmas present a few years ago, and he had it signed and sketched in by Rob Guillory, so that was really cool. So I decided to go ahead and get all of the Omnivore editions, and I kind of want to get all of them sketched in, get the different characters on the inside covers. So the series is really awesome. If you haven't been reading it, it's one of my favorite from Image. It's planned to go to issue 60, so we're right now over 2/3 through it. Like, this marks the 2/3 point, and then there's a couple issues out after this as well. So it's a really cool series, really interesting, really fun. It's funny, and if you like crazy comics, like cool concepts, funny comics, then I really recommend it. But most people probably already heard about it and have read a chunk of it by now, so it's nothing too new anymore. It's, Chew is old news at this point. And then the last book I actually have to show off is this one, Brian Lee O'Malley's Seconds. This is the first of everything that I've been showing off today from this haul that I have not read yet. This is Brian Lee O'Malley, who did Scott Pilgrim, his new graphic novel. It's a single volume, unlike Scott Pilgrim, which was 6 volumes long. I was just reminded today that final volume of Scott Pilgrim was released 4 years ago now. It happened summer of 2010, back when the film was hitting theaters. This new one is a completely new story, something new he's been working on. It's a single volume hardcover that's in color, a lot of red tones in there. It's really a good looking book. I haven't read it yet. I'm planning on reading it pretty soon because I'm a huge fan of O'Malley. And it's the first thing he's done since those 4 years that Scott Pilgrim has been completed. The only thing he's done since then is the re-releases of Scott Pilgrim in color, which are really nice hardcover editions that I've been collecting. I already have the paperbacks in black and white, but I love the series so much I wanted to collect it in hardcover and to see how he does it in color. So Brian Lee O'Malley's Seconds, just by looking at it, I feel like I could recommend this volume. It's a really nice looking book, well put together, well bound. The artwork is really beautiful, of course. It's O'Malley. And then the final book that I have to talk about, the one that I accidentally sent to my parents' house, is The Incredible Hulk Volume 8, Big Things, which is the final volume of Bruce Jones's run on the Hulk. A few years ago, I started to get really into the Hulk. I don't remember exactly why, but I decided to read like a lot of Hulk comics. So I think I had already read... No, I had bought, because there was a sale at my comic shop, I had bought about half of Greg Pak and Fred Van Lente's Incredible Hercules run. And I had already owned Planet Hulk and World War Hulk, but I hadn't read either of them. So I decided that I was going to go through and read all this stuff chronologically. So I started buying everything. So I went out and I bought the prelude to Planet Hulk, and then I read that, Planet Hulk. I read World War Hulk. I read the entirety of the Incredible Hercules series, going all the way through to Chaos War. And then I collected and read the Jeff Loeb Hulk series with the Red Hulk, and then read the Jeff Parker material that was available at the time, and then started following those volumes as they came out through the end of his Red Hulk series and all of his Red She-Hulk series, which are some fantastic stuff. And then I read through all of Greg Pak's Return to the Hulk with the Incredible Hulks, Fall of the Hulks, World War Hulks, all that stuff, all the way through Heart of the Monster, and then I was reading Incredible Hulk by Jason Aaron, and all that good stuff. So I read a crap ton of Hulk, and one of the runs that was recommended to me by someone was the Bruce Jones run, which starts with issue like 40 or 44 or something like that, with the volume called Return of the Monster. And so I bought those volumes because about half of them are available for really cheap online, like at Amazon and stuff, and I picked those up and I read them and I really enjoyed it. But then the second half of the series is really difficult to find, and it's really expensive if you go on secondhand places like Amazon, because they're really out of print. And I spent the longest time looking for volumes 7 and 8, and I finally found 7 at a random comic shop in Dallas, and I was super excited. I bought it up, I read it, and it was a good book. And then there's just volume 8 that kept eluding me, and I didn't want to order it online because it was always like $30 something to $40 for a 7-issue comic that I didn't want to spend that much for. So eventually, a couple years have passed since then. One of my uncles sent me a Amazon gift card for my birthday this past earlier this month, and I was really thinking, what should I use this on? I thought, I'm gonna find something that's out of print, so I don't feel like I wasted the thing, because I didn't want to use it to buy something I can get cheaper on like in-stock trades. So I eventually clicked and I was like, hey, I should probably look up that Incredible Hulk Volume 8, Big Things, see how much I can find it for. Maybe I can pay for most of it with this card. Someone was selling it brand new on Amazon for $20. Plus shipping, it basically used up my $25 gift card, and I'm really excited to finally read that volume, complete Bruce Jones's Hulk run, but I have to wait a couple days because it accidentally got shipped to my parents' place. So when I go to visit them this next weekend, I'll be able to grab that and read it, and I'm going to be really happy to finally finish that run. And then after I finish that, I'll have to go and buy, I think it's the Tempest Fugit and House of M Hulk volumes, which are the 2 volumes that Peter David did as like a return to the franchise between Bruce Jones's run and the Planet Hulk material. So I'm excited about that one. Anyway, that's everything that I've gotten recently. In about a week from now, I should get another package. Actually, it'll be 2 packages from In Stock Trades with a lot of cool stuff, including but not limited to the Grant Morrison Doom Patrol Omnibus, which is a volume I've been looking forward to for a while. So that's something that I'm excited to see come in the mail. And then I'm going to have a few more paperbacks and stuff with that